versus Vikings right now out there, though. Mjolnir versus Valhalla at this point. I'm going to jump on over to a long-time community member,
Oh, yes.
BJ Alfonso from Team PTZ. I've been commentating on BJ Alfonso literally since the first ZTR races ever went down. I'm not kidding. I believe he probably was in the first broadcast that we ever broadcasted on the Nathan Guerra Twitch channel. That's how old school BJ Alfonso is when it comes to esports, racing, and helping with Team Portugal. Actually, there is a reason, and I mean, early on, we partnered with them so much that this team had the Vision logo actually on the kit. You can actually see it underneath the ride-ons right there. That's how
Oh,
old school
cool.
things are. Like this is a very, very long time, very committed community member, and it's really great to see them out here today hammering away in the mochas right now.
I do want to talk about BJ Alfonso a little bit because we've got some of their. So they've got a mixed team, it looks like. Deborah out there as well, Deborah Souza. But this is what I'm talking about with raw watts. So BJ has raw watts here. I think it's the FTPs put down of 268. A bit of a heavier rider. I don't know. I mean, he's put it in his comments. So he said he's fat and slow. It doesn't look like slow since he's got that pretty high watts. But you look at the watts of the rest of the team 159, 173, 187, 137. He is over 100 watts above everybody else. And so this course for him to keep the whole team together and look at what we're seeing
Yeah,
on screen.
speaking
This
of,
is what's
yeah,
going to
what you,
happen.
yeah, you're right on,
You've got,
like right on cue. It was almost like you could have
oh,
set this up, actually, Anna.
I just know that much about watts and what that's going to look like on screen. I'm
The
sort of
whiteboard is
a
like literally playing out
oracle.
right in front of your eyes. She says it and it happens. I mean, it's like
Exactly.
her
There we
whiteboard
go.
is now game code at this point. I mean, it's no different. Thiago Costa.
Like this is
Go ahead, Anna.
this is a hard team to keep together though. When you've got a 268 versus the lower end of 137, mostly flat terrain. This is almost impossible unless BJ can just like really rein it in and take super long turns. Like I'm talking 5-minute turns at low watts. But yeah, this will be hard because you've got we talked about Deborah Souza. So she's 38 years old, a nurse, indoor cyclist, and trail runner. So shout out to the nurse. And I've got to say the trail runners can end up being pretty good Zwifters. So but this is going to be a hard day for her with that huge discrepancy between herself and BJ.
Looks like they're all bringing this back together, which they had to, right? They have to finish with 4. So they needed to bring at least one of those riders back into the fold here. They did give us a little bit more information. Actually, we really appreciate them being one of our highlighted teams. And about Team PTZ, it was born in 2015. Team winner of the first Tour de Zwift in August of 2016 with the KISS Racing bronze medal in TAX World Championship in October 2016. In-game kit came in June of 2017 after a powerful tag of PTZ waiting for the kit. I do remember that. Actually, it was almost like the TFC kit. Because like the TFC kit and the PTZ kit both kind of had that waiting thing happening for quite a while, which was we almost didn't want the kits to get in game because it became such a topic, if that makes sense. But, I'm not kidding. So they actually have 2 regular Monday events. Bota Luma Race Series inspired by S.Mamede and an ex-Quick Step rider and now Team UAE. On Saturdays, they also have another ride, which is Joaquim Agostina ride, who is the former Portuguese cyclist. Principal results in the Tour de France, we're saying, and the Hispana, it sounds like. So 2 cool rides that they have. Go check those out with PTZ, and pretty solid. Interesting, everybody here, except for one of the riders, is, I think, into the Masters category, actually. So good to see all these riders continue on and hammering away, specifically here out on Zwift. I want to give a shout out to Thiago Costa. He's a tech developer, played American football actually, and it looks like These bikes, obviously, bikes are also a passion. It looks like, but an American football player going over to the bikes. We've heard a little bit, actually, that a lot more recently. Brett Favre recently got on the platform in the last year or so, as well as a few other top American football players. So cool to see, and definitely making gains here. Looks like it's a Cat C D rider, Tiago Costa.
So I'm not super familiar with American football, but what kind of crossover would you have here? I mean, I could just picture them being really, really good sprinters, just having from all the gym work they'd have to do and all the explosive power. But are there athletes in American football who have got more of that endurance? Like,
No,
could they come in and
no,
be good?
nope,
No, it's all
nope,
going to be
nope.
explosive.
It's all sprint.
No.
It's all power. It's all like. I mean, if you were to take somebody from American football and bring them over, I mean, yes, okay. Look, not the running backs, not the linemen, but maybe the wide receivers. A wide receiver is going to be lengthy enough, going to be lean enough maybe to make a transfer over a year or two. I would say, or maybe some really really good discipline in like 6 months to a year. Is the only place, and I could even say that being more towards even triathlete than I would say pure cyclist, just because of the amount of raw muscle that is going to be on a football player in order to take those hits, in order to be able to be involved at that kind of level of bulk play. I'm just going to call it. I mean, you're going to get into
Okay.
essentially a boxing ring with bodies, just hitting you. So, it's going to be, the crossover is difficult at a road race kind of situation, but you could get a ruler out of somebody, from a wide receiver, and then otherwise, I would say pure sprinter and track if it is coming over from American football.
Because I have seen some American football players go and race Kona, like Ironman Kona, but I think they've had to do like some serious like body adjustments and get into the long runs and the long rides.
Yeah,
So
and
I
you
guess
can
it
have
can be
shoulders
done,
and
but it's
tries. You can have shoulders and tries. Cyclists tend to get rid of them, so
yeah,
because right,
true,
you got
true.
to
You
have
need
them for swimming. You got to swim, so.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So okay, it's quite a good to see him out here riding. Then if he's done American football crossing over, we good to see that finish sprint. I'm sure that's got a huge amount of power, hulking it to the line, which would
Think
be
he's
good to
got
see.
anything left
Although
at 190 beats per minute, though, right? Like, like dragging it all, and there's four left. They are keeping it together, though. Good on them. They're gonna have to let Barreros go, though. I think here at 172, I think
yeah,
he's gonna pull the plug now. At this point, this is gonna be Jamie Barreros, and this rider off the back now at this point, but solid go. MTB rider actually using Zwift to get in shape and lose weight, he says. So nice job out here. And he's done his work for the team as they all stick together with 5 now. Looks like they made the
yeah. Shout
call,
out to Deborah.
actually, Anna. Doesn't it look like they kind of made a call right there and now it's a little bit more cohesive?
Yeah, yeah, and it look shout out to Deborah here too, mixing it with the men. She's doing great, right up there, second wheel now. So she's obviously hit like her a little bit of her second win, taking it into the finish. It's only about 5 kilometers away. So yeah, this is good. I think definitely maybe Barreros was just kind of anchoring them a little bit, and they said, okay, let's make the call, let's go. Now they're looking a lot more tidy. This is looking nice.
Yeah, nice job there by the rest of the PTZ team. Let's take a look at some of the times. Anna, the times so far, Zedson at the top with Nebula.
Yeah, time check number 3. So good job, Zed-san. Always kind of like seeing that crew out there. PTZ's the S.Mamedes sitting in the second place at that third time check, and Brighton Meter 2.0 sitting in the third spot there. But it's not super close either between these teams. So I'm not sure that they're going to be able to catch up